Welcome back to this very wonderful, intimate conversation. I tell you, it's very touching. If you care to just if you followed it, and I would encourage those who did not see our part one. Our guest at the Shapecast here is Alice Nayebare, a lawyer, a mother, an intercessor, a farmer, and also does social work, especially with ex-prison. In fact, with prison ministry, because she also visits the people in the ministry, in the prisons, but also those that are out, to see that their lives are back rehabilitated to start living normal lives. The last episode we had, if you have not checked it, please check it out. But this is the recap, the summary. We realized that she was accused for the murder, alongside her little brother, for the murder of her father and the 5 other people. And it was trumped up charges, and it's really disorganized many things, like it would, her career and her way of looking at things. The life that you have been looking at as flowing natural, it abruptly comes to a standstill. She stayed in prison for some time, and then that is where she saw God coming, speak to her about certain things. Some of them were reminders, some of them were charges. This is what you ought to do. So we stop at the point where it says, the Lord told me, you slept on the job. I'm going to release you from prison. But now that you are out, this is what you ought to do. So welcome again to this Shapecast. Shapecast is about our life's purpose, spiritual gifts, experiences, and personalities to be tuned to the purpose of God, so that at the end of the day, say you served God, the purpose of God in your generation, before you rest. So Alice, very much welcome back.
Thank you, Pastor.
I really was touched with that story. I was putting myself in many of those instances. You're working, you're going you are bereaved, to say the least, and then they're telling you are guilty, and we are apprehending you for what has happened. You talked about God speaking to you, in prison. And that's an encounter that's unforgettable, because it gave you a bit of, this is what you're going to do after you're out of here. Shapecast is about experiences as well. So how has God shaped your experiences while you were in prison? How did he shape them? Because I know they should also have an impact to how you view life today.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Anthony, once again. Indeed, my prison experience is one single most experience that keeps fresh every day, and it has surpassed all other experiences. And in retrospect, if I'm to describe it, it has become like a foundation stone in the way I view many things in life. Like now, I don't get scared anyhow. I don't spend the whole night awake because I'm worried of something. I don't get shaken when someone threatens, but it has also reminds me every day that we serve a God who answers prayers. Yeah, and I would like to say that many of us, when we encounter hardships, when we encounter troubles, pain, we tend to develop resentment towards God.
Yeah.
We think he has forgotten us. He does not. Where was he when all this was happening? Yes. Yes. But I look at pain and challenges differently. And to me, it is when God gives you the opportunity to pass through pain, he's giving you the opportunity to get closer, to change your perspective, to allow him a deeper work, to hear his voice, which you don't normally get when life is good. Yes, when life is good, when things are, taking the normal course. But when he passes you through the fire, then he is refining you. It is an opportunity, and most times that experience helps us to understand God's purposes and plans for our lives. And so if I'm to talk about God's purposes revealed through life's experiences, I could talk about maybe 4 to 5 things that I learned through my experience in prison and aftermath. And one of them is pain, treating pain as a hidden treasure. It is a gem when he takes you through pain and he pulls you out. Instead of hating that experience, instead of being ashamed of it, look at it ask God, what do you want me to learn? What is the gem that is hidden in this pain? And the Bible is so kind that it gives us good characters and clues of what God always does with pain. And we have examples like Joseph, those 13 years of trouble, accusation, false accusation, being arrested, being in prison, and all that, being estranged from his family and all that. Yeah. God was creating a governor.
The gem was the governor.
The governor, in the pain. The other thing, if I'm to talk about the purpose of God in the pain, most of the times it is to save many lives, to save others. And a good example is again Joseph. After he had passed through all this and God brought healing, he was able to reflect and say to his brothers that what you meant for evil, God turned it around for good. To save lives. He sent me here ahead of you to prepare, to save you. And
just think about that. These guys are plotting to kill you, and then it's chances on them that some traders are coming, let's sell him to a far land where he can never be found.
Yeah.
Kumbe, God is in all of that.
Yeah.
He's sending this man ahead of them because he knows 10, 12, 20 years later they are going to find him there.
Yes, they are going to find him. And indeed, imagine if they came to Egypt and Joseph was, if the drought came and Joseph was not in Egypt and had not given that wisdom and had not. So at times you get to understand that God's purposes at times surpass personal comfort. They bring pain so that you could soften and become the vessel he can use. Then the third level that I would like to talk about is God using pain to shape character and build identity in you. Just take an example of David. He's being hunted, he's being chased, he's sleeping in the cave.
Meanwhile, he was anointed as king.
He's anointed as king.
With oil
on his head. Yes, it's a clear call. God has even lifted the first prophet in Israel and told him, go and anoint him as king. But he's being chased after, he's being haunted, he's being taunted. And but God was shaping him.
The life of David. Because sometimes I usually put myself in some of these characters. God, at the witness of my family, saw that oil was poured on my head. So I am the next king. I would have either thrown a tantrum. Why would someone try to kill me yet God himself said I'm the king? I'm not going to run away if Saul wants to kill me.
Let him do so.
Let him do so, because I know I can't die.
Yeah.
But we see a man who is running for his life. Trouble. He is being accused of trying to of treason and all of that. He has no idea about the same. And he's running. There's a time even where he thought that he was mad. Did a bit because he was running for life, yet he was the next coming king.
Yes.
Amazing.
And his companions were, you know, the worthless men.
Yeah, vagabonds and all of these guys who have given up, indebted.
Yes, indebted and those living in distress.
Yes.
But David's character was being formed and shaped by those experiences so that he could shepherd God's people. So I strongly believe that many times God takes us through that so that he can build what he wants in us.
And it goes back to what you said, God takes us in the experience so that we save others. So even with David, all of it that is going through is because God is prepping him to shepherd his people. And that's why very many references, David comes in as a foreshadow of the Christ.
And also as a man who fought God's battles. Yes, he fought God's battles and he defended Israel against the worst of attacks that you could think of.
By the time his son came in, there was actually peace.
And maybe the fourth one is about building a living testimony. You know, that's why the Bible says that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. This testimony of, if I'm speaking at a personal level, of being in prison and losing my father in a manner that I lost him, I have seen it heal many. And I can give just one example. I think it was in 2016, after I had just been released, I went back to Tanzania to process my NSSF. And in NSSF, I found a woman, an elderly woman, who had just been transferred from Dar es Salaam to work in Arusha. And
why would you go for NSSF in Tanzania?
My NSSF of my previous job. Yes.
To process it, that can be reflected.
Yeah, so that I bring it, I can have it cashed. Yeah. So when I was there, I found this lady, and who was working with NSSF Tanzania, and my friend told me, let us go and say hello to her. I did not know that God was staging things for us to meet with her. So as we met, we talked very briefly, and she told us she wanted to go back to Dar es Salaam. She was not enjoying Arusha, and I asked her why. Because at that time, many people wanted maybe be away and relax. And she told me, I'm mourning. And I asked her, what are you mourning? She told us that she had lost a son in Nairobi a year back. Actually, the son had died the same time as my dad, but she was still mourning 3 years later. And she told me, I don't want to walk away from my family because we want to keep mourning. And as she was sharing her experience, I felt God moved me to share your testimony with her. And she was a born-again Christian. So I shared I just asked her, can I share my testimony with you? She said, please do. And I shared very briefly. She stood up from where she was seated and came and embraced me and started crying and said, if you are healed, I have every reason to heal. I have to heal. And tonight I'm going to call my husband and tell him about this story. The following day, I flew back to Uganda, and the following day she called me. She told me, I shared your testimony with my husband and with my children. We have resolved to get healed, to walk past this. And I have also had the opportunity to share this story, this testimony with every opportunity I get. I share this testimony, and the more I share it, the more I feel I'm overcoming the pain, the shame, the disgrace that I suffered, but also the more I see many people being healed out of it. So through this pain, God is building a living testimony which we use to overcome the enemy. And so it can encourage, your story can encourage someone. It can be survival for someone else's hope. It can bring healing to many that are listening to you.
Illustration of the encounter.
Yeah.
Arusha.
Yeah.
Arusha,
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking there's somebody out there listening to this and like, I thought I was in the worst of distresses, especially regarding family. And I think as we bring it home, how do you encourage such a one? I know they could have listened to all of this, but like, I've been mourning for the last 20, 10, 5 years. I don't seem to get out of this. How do you help such?
I think to me it is about opening up your heart, and you ask God the right questions. What are you teaching me? I remember when I was in prison, there was this prayer I used to tell him, to ask him. I would tell him, Lord, what do you want me to learn? Quicken me, Holy Spirit, to know what you want me to learn out of this. And he told me many things. One of them was unforgiveness. And I remember he gave me a condition. He said, the longer it will take you to forgive, the longer it will take you to get out of prison.
Whoa.
And I would forgive in the morning, and in the evening I'm murdering someone in my thoughts. I want them to crash in car accidents. I want maybe them to be struck by lightning.
To strike them, yeah.
Yes, but time came, and that healing came, and forgiveness came. And by the way, I did not mention that out of the many witnesses that were coming up against us, I had some siblings.
Ooh,
and I did not know that we would ever get over that. But as I speak, when those people who know that we used to have trouble towards each other, whenever they ask me how is she or how is so and so, I warn them beforehand. Don't talk much, we reconciled. We forgave each other.
Yeah.
We visit one another, we eat together, we share things.
And forgive. And by that's how God tests whether you forgive. Are you able to meet and sit down with your offender or who your aggressor or the one you offended? That's usually how God tests whether we really forgive when we interface them. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I can conclude on that aspect by saying that in a painful season, you need to ask God, what are you teaching me? Who is this shaping me to become? Whose life will this testimony impact? Who do you want me to speak to? I remember when I had come out, I kept telling God, show me who I should bless today. And God put people in my way to bless that day. Maybe with a good word, maybe with some little pocket change. And I would come back home happy. And so, like now with my prison ministry, whenever I go to do ministry in prison, I find myself sharing this testimony. I can go with a word and then I read it there in front, and all of a sudden God is saying, give them your testimony. Because I believe that in prison, apart from the terrorists, we were the most highly accused people as a family, with 7 capital offenses. We were the most highly, and our case was very political.
I remember seeing it.
Yes.
News and in the papers, family tragedy and children murdering their father. Wow, yeah. It was deep.
Yeah, it was deep, and many judges did not want to touch our case. I can tell you that we were tried by a man who was retiring in 2 months, following 4 recusals of judges that had said, we will not touch this case. It was so controversial, had a lot of political interests, and interestingly, the judge who tried us was the judge who denied us our first bail. And I remember when he was acquitting me, I could see the pain and some form of regret in his eyes, as if to say, I wish I had known when you applied for bail, I would have released you then.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again, God being God, he knew that this other period, you still pick something out of that. Our viewers and listeners, she has a book she's penning down for the nitty-gritty details of how those years spanned. Isn't it very, very amazing how God structures our lives, shapes our lives, that from the lowest we are able to have a story to encourage another person. We are coming back to the last bit, and we are going to talk about the prison ministry. Of course, it's obvious why she chose that, among many others, but also the role she's playing. Because I heard her in the first part where she said, God told her, if anything ever happens again, you are not going to be excused. I'm releasing you, but there's so much that you ought to do as a watchman. Call them a kinsman redeemer in so many ways. So do make sure you tune in for the third episode. Remember, Shapecast is the channel, Shepherd. Share this message, of course, and then also encourage people to subscribe so that they get these very many stories that change one's perspective about their purpose. Do not go away, and thank you very much for tuning in. God bless you.